I'm Toya, this is Tea with Toya, and in today's episode we'll be discussing the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, the Oscars, and the DuoLab system. But first, here's some quick tea. Minions have released their new trailer, The Rise of Gru, which is simultaneously a prequel to Despicable Me and the sequel to Minions. I've always loved these films, and from the trailer which they aired at Super Bowl, it looks like it's going to be nothing but fun this summer. The finale of Power has aired now, and people were a little bit disappointed because they was hoping that the leaked episode was not going to be the actual episode, but it aired, and it was. And Twitter had a thunderstorm on it. Not all the tweets were great, majority of the top tweets were actually bad. However, it hasn't stopped 50 Cent from announcing 4 spin-offs, the first one being Power Book 2, which is featuring Method Man and Mary J. Blige. I for one am a little bit excited to see what happens next. Even though they've broken up ages ago, Meek Mill and Nicki Minaj have been going at it on Twitter, and people have not been very happy about what they've actually been discussing and airing their private laundry in public. However, people are saying that this might just be for publicity, as Nicki Minaj has just dropped new song Yikes, and Meek Mill has dropped new empowering track Believe featuring Justin Timberlake. I for one can't wait to hear what Nicki Minaj has coming on her new album. And finally, the drama has barely settled from Gabrielle Union leaving America's Got Talent because apparently her style and her hair were too black. Now Gabrielle Union is apparently set to sue Cowell because of unsafe work conditions. He was smoking every time they had a break on set. I don't know what you think about that, but I was a bit like, I don't think this court case is actually going to stick. But who knows? That was a quick tea, now for the real tea.
I'm Sonic, a little ball of super energy in an extremely handsome package. On my planet, people were always after my powers, so I came to yours.
Films based on video games tend to have the rating of terrible, alright, or watchable. So when I heard that they was bringing Sonic the Hedgehog to the big screens, I wasn't 100% convinced. If you grew up in the 90s, then you definitely know who Sonic was. It felt like he took on the whole might of Nintendo and Mario all by himself, because people fell in love with the fact that he was a blue hedgehog with a slick mouth, super cool, and he was just tons of fun. And let's be honest, Mario was a plumber. But the main selling point was his speed. Everyone just loved his speed. We hadn't seen a game like that before, a blue hedgehog that could run super duper fast. Fortunately, Sonic didn't age well, and 20 years later he kind of died out and only had features when he was next to Mario as like a extra player in one of those games.
Gotta go fast.
When the trailer went out for this film a year ago, people were excited that they tried to bring out Sonic, but really upset with how they made him look. I mean, his teeth looked wrong, kind of looked like he belonged in more of a horror movie than Sonic the Hedgehog. But for the first time ever in Hollywood, Paramount Pictures actually listened and went back to the drawing board. And I can safely say they've nailed the way that Sonic looks. Watching the trailer, we've got funny lines, and of course, he's super duper fast. So the character design is right, but that doesn't guarantee a good film. They still need a good story and a great cast. So, the story is, Sonic the Hedgehog basically ends up in our universe from his universe.
It gets a little lonely, but that's okay. I am living my best life on Earth. Ow! At the place Sonic! At the Bitches Mount also Sonic! Ugh, I can't with that guy.
He makes friends with James Marsden's character, and he obviously has the bad guy, Dr. Robotnik, who is played by none other than Jim Carrey himself. Now, Jim Carrey kind of dropped off the radar a little bit because he had a couple of tragedies going on, but I'm assuming that he's going to be funnier than ever in this role. And hopefully it brings back some of that Jim Carrey craziness.
We celebrate all the women who directed phenomenal films, and I'm so proud to stand here as a Black, queer artist telling stories. Happy Black History Month.
Moving on to the Oscars 2020, and what a night it was. Of course there were some concerns about representation and diversity, but the entertainment came in fits and spades. First there was the fashion, which was highlighted for the right and wrong reasons. However, some of the people's outfits that people didn't like were Kristen Wiig, Sandra Oh and Janelle Monáe. However, worst dress for the night, according to Instagram, went to Blac Chyna.
Controversial social media star Blac Chyna made people see red, specifically the red carpet at the 2020 Academy Awards. According to E! News, she was among the earliest arrivals, and she made quite an entrance. Wearing, quote, a plunging black velvet Dona Matoshi gown with dark blue fringe, jeweled accents, and a thigh-high slit, she had all eyes on her and all hands scratching their heads.
Janelle Monáe opened up the show with a song featuring Billy Porter which had everyone singing along, and even though there was no official host for the night, comedians Chris Rock and Steve Martin opened up the ceremony for everyone and had them all in stitches.
Cynthia did such a great job in Harriet hiding black people that the Academy got her to hide all the black nominees.
There were the general obvious wins of the night, like Joaquin Phoenix winning Best Actor again, like he has at every other award show, for Joker. I think this is the first time we've ever had 2 Oscar winners for the same film. Netflix won their first Oscar with Lauren Dern for her part in Marriage Story, but out of 11 nominations, they only walked away with 2. And surprisingly, nothing for The Irishman, considering how much hype they made about it getting Oscar nominations. There was a surprise appearance from Eminem singing Lose Yourself, which everyone was excited by, but the big surprise of the night was Parasite beating Sam Mendes' film 1917. It is the first international film ever to win an Oscar. It won 4 Oscars overall compared to 1917's 3 Oscars, and its director, Bong Joon-Ho, also won Best Director. We asked for diversity, I guess we got it, but just not how everyone expected. Has anyone seen Parasite? Let me know in the comments below. And finally, Loccitane Group have bought us the DuoLab system. DuoLab has been described as skin-responsive skincare. Basically, it's a machine that you put your cream into and it warms the cream up to skin temperature, so it is easily absorbed. You have 3 base creams and 5 concentrates, and you basically put 1 base cream and a concentrate inside of the machine, let it mix it up, warm it up, and then apply it to your skin. The idea is that your skin needs different treatments, and there's pollution in the air and everything like that. So this system basically takes all of that into account and plans your skincare routine accordingly for up to 4 weeks. It's a subscription-based service, so you can either get once a day subscription or twice a day subscription. Let me just tell you guys, I've been using it for nearly a week and my skin is loving it. I'll be sure to update you at the end of the month and let you know how glowy I hopefully look. That's it for this week's Tea with Toya. Make sure you tune in next week when we'll be discussing Justin Bieber's new album Changes, amongst other topics. And remember, when it comes to the tea, we #sip, don't spill.